Hey everyone, and welcome to Adventures with Erica. Thank you so much for joining me. Now we're starting the fun part. I usually like to plan way in advance when we're getting ready to take off because there's so much that goes into getting on the road, right? So RV living can be very expensive, or you can do it and be frugal. And so right there in the middle is where usually people land. We try to stay more on the frugal side, and you could check out some of my other videos about boondocking and how we use our generator and some places we stay along the way. But that's on the West Coast. We don't always have those options on the East Coast, so we have to do a little bit more planning as far as that's concerned. So I got my book here, my passport book of all of the national parks, and as you can see, here is some areas that you could check out when you're traveling, and this particular area is the North Atlantic region. So I wanted to look at some places that we could stop so I can get my stamps and my stickers and all those things, and it kind of help us map out a trip that would be fun for you guys to watch and informational, but also, you know, make you feel like you're taking the trip with us. So one of the things we definitely need to do before we even get started is get you to subscribe. So make sure you hit that notification bell as well as the subscription button, because you never know where we might end up, and I want you to come. And I want to make sure that if you're thinking about taking a ride or going somewhere, or you've never been, that you can have this experience with us, because I really enjoy that. So make sure you hit the notification bell, make sure you hit the subscription button, make sure you leave a comment, right? So I can know, you know, did they find this video helpful? You know, be a part of our life, our day. And I would really love that. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead on and start this video. So we're going to kick off that intro now. Okay, you guys, now this is a part where I wanted to show you how I kind of use different tools to plan our trip, and this helps me a lot because it kind of lets me know what's in the area, what can I find. It helps me map out a route to see what's available. I can use my passport book and see what's in the area versus what it is I want to see. So usually I start out with going to USA itineraries, and we'll click there, and it takes us to this page, and it helps you to plan an itinerary for the USA. So we're going to go to trips, and then we're going to go to plan a trip, and then you put in your destination for your itinerary here, and you can add destination places along the way. So if you're going to have more than one trip, more than one destination, you can add them into your trip. So we'll make some tweaks along the way. So right now our destination will be Bar Harbor, and as you can see, it's there, and then we're going to add some other destinations as far as once we're going. So we're hoping to be able to hit some new places, so we'll probably stop in Virginia. And this autocorrect, boy, I tell you, we don't want that. So let's get out of that. Here we go, Virginia, and then we're going to add another one, and we're probably looking at Washington, because we travel really slow. So we're passed through Maryland, and we'll just look and see what they have to offer. And then we have Pennsylvania, and then we'll probably check out the New York area, and Massachusetts, and what's another place we could look at? Massachusetts. I don't know if we're going to pass through Connecticut, but let's just leave it there for now for the sake of the video. So our start date here will be March the 26th, and we do want some activities, and that will be optional. You could put whether you want something outdoors or the beach or shopping or museums, whatever you like to do. You could choose that if you want. But it's going to give us another option really soon to be able to plug in things to be able to see. So, okay. So we have to put in our end date. We want to arrive by April 30th. And now what this is going to do is help us to plan kind of give us an idea on where to go and what route we can take and what states we'll pass through. And it takes a little time. Sometimes I think the computer is thinking, so we just give it a minute to be able to go ahead and pull it up. Okay, finally, you guys, it starts to work and it gets us to where we want to be. So it's telling us that our trip is going to take 36 days. It gives a map out. Now, as you can see, it's all over the place here in the corner, in the upper corner where the little map is. And so you can take these and move them into different orders so you can make sure that you're not trying to zigzag through. As you can see right along next to the city, say where it says New York City, it says that it has you there as 5 days, and you may not even want to be there 5 days. So you can go and edit your trip. So plan settings. No, not this one. Let's go down here to see if we can edit, because it has us ending. So we don't want to be in New York first. Bar Harbor's last. And so you can take these and slide them into place. So say let's see, we got, just for the sake of this video, we'll move DC to the top. Just take it and drag it. And then we have Baltimore next, and then Philly, and then Arlington. Not sure where that is. We'll put that there. So it'll start placing things in order, and so that way we can kind of figure out where we're going and not zigzag all over the place. So Boston should be down here. Oh my goodness. There we go. And 4 should be where New York is, which is in the 5 place. Well, anyway, as you can see, you have some rearranging to do to where it is set up to where you can visit and not be out of space as far as where you would like to be to go. Once we have this all figured out and you've moved them around to where you want to go, then it'll start saying, okay, here's where your trip will end, and you want to make sure that this is ending the same day. Our end date is not New York. You can go in and tap these little buttons, and it'll ask you how you want to get there, and you just click drive, and it'll adjust it to driving. And it's you can change where your destination is. Like I said, we're not going to spend this whole video going through changing everything. It's mainly just to kind of show you what's available to you and how you can get around and plan a trip if you want to go somewhere different other than where we're headed. So once I get my itinerary and I figure out where we're going, I will come back and do another video. This one I just want to kind of show you, give you a little insight on what it is I do when I'm ready to take a trip. So we're going to go back and we're going to stop this on the 30th. Oh my goodness. Stop this one on the second. A second. Alright, and then we'll just put fly just so we can get out of it. Alright, so then we're going to save it. And what it's going to start to do now is build an itinerary of things to do day to day, which is super cool. So when you're in different places, it'll say, hey, if you're here for 4 nights, here are some things you can see in the area. And it'll go in and you can see day by day planning, which is awesome. If you're visiting someplace new and you're like, what is there to do here? It will give you a time it takes to visit, like the U.S. Navy Academy. If that's something you into, it says, hey, carve out from 1 to 3 o'clock. You know, you can be there 34 minutes. This is where it's located from where you are. And as I take my passport book, I'm going to be looking at certain things in the area that I'd like to see versus some things that are carved out in the map on the way there, how we can get there, whether there's a train that you can take some train rides. It's just going to be awesome, and I really can't wait. It also does the route, which is what we saw here, and I'm going to fix that. It asks you about the day, and another special feature is once you know where you're going to stay, you've mapped out your cities, you've looked at RV parks or state parks, you then can go in and add reservations to this particular thing. So if your reservation is a hotel or attraction or other, so you put in the information Google search, put in the address, when you want to arrive, what time you need to arrive, and it will add it into your itinerary, and it makes it so super simple. You can have this emailed to yourself, or you can also print it out and use it that way if you, like myself, like a paper copy of something as far as that's concerned. Like I said, this is just a little FYI, or how I start to plan. I look at these places, I start arranging them, I start looking at the map and see what direction we want to take, what is some good footage we can see, what are some of the national parks I want to check out, and then I start compiling our route, and then I will go in and look at our dates and places to stay at that time. So I just wanted to kind of share this with you. You can explore this on your own. It is really super cool. I ran across it and I absolutely love it. You can make an account, as you can see at the top. You can do a login. It will keep track of all the places you've been. And it's really, really fun and exciting, and it gets your mind thinking about your trip. And you can add things, you can take away things. It is super, super cool, and it remembers your trip when you go in. And that's one of the things I absolutely love about this site. So you guys, it is really important to kind of have an itinerary in your mind. As you can see, I use this site. It's not the only one I use. Once I figure out where I want to go, it kind of helps me to look and see what's around, and then I'll plan what activities I want to see. I got my book, so I'll see what the activities are showing me compared to what's in here, or if I want to alternate my route of places that's in my book that I definitely want to check out. I can plug that into where my stops are, and then I can begin to look for camp spaces, right? So whether I want to stay at a KOA or a state park, or if there's free camping somewhere, that's my next step, and I'll start organizing those things in my mind once I figure out what direction we're going to take, whether we're going to go up the Canadian side or whether we're going to go through the US side. And with my book, I think it would be beneficial to go on the US side, just because I can get some more of my stamps and my checks and all that different stuff for my book, because I really want to fill it's my bucket list book, and you can check out that video on bucket list. All right, so that is where we are right now. We're in the beginning phase. I'm going to be looking over this and looking in my book, and when I figure out where we're going and I can look at how long we're going to be there, how far it is, then I go into MapQuest and I start putting in one destination to the next and finding out how much the gas is in the area. I know how long we can go in our truck on how much gas, and I can kind of figure out how much gas we'll need to be excuse me, to be able to make our trip and get there safely. Guys, I can tell you there are some cheap ways to do this, but you still have to have some money, and people don't really want to support you because you're doing something that they dream about doing. They work their whole entire life to retire, to hopefully be able to have the energy or the money to be able to do something. So when it comes down to getting support of family and friends, I mean, they may watch your videos, but a lot of times what you run into is folks don't really want to see you out there doing something that they themselves would like to do. So since we've been back, I can tell you I have not got a moment's piece of rest. Like, I see my family, I get a chance to spend time with my grandkids, see my children, spend time with my mom, my sisters and those. But I work from about 7 in the morning to sometimes 10 o'clock at night, doing Instacart, doing Ship, doing, substitute teaching, trying to make some money and save some money. And it is hard, especially living on the East Coast, because there's no boondocking land. There's no place for you to go and you can stay 14 days for free, right? There's not a whole lot of places you can get propane. There are, but there's not a whole, like out in Utah and Nevada, California, you could pull up to the gas station and get propane. Here, everything closes early. Not many places have propane where you can go and get fill up, and especially not propane tanks. Here, you need to know somebody who knows somebody who has land. Right now, we're boondocking at my daughter's, but she lives in a neighborhood where her neighbors, you can literally stick your hand out and touch their house. And that kind of staying is temporary because you don't have the things you need. You're packing up the house like every 7 days to go dump your tanks, you know, clean them out, doing house maintenance and all this kind of stuff. Not to mention, if you don't own your home and you're making payments on it, or your truck, and then your insurance, all that stuff costs, right? So you have money going out on top of trying to save money. I prefer to be traveling and on the road. I miss my kids. I miss my family when I'm gone. But living this lifestyle, for me, and I'm only speaking for me, it's cheaper if I don't live here in Tennessee, right? So I'm excited to get back on the road. I'm excited to see new things and meet new people and just kind of do it. It's been very stressful being here, just trying to come up with all this money that we need to take off to be able to get to, you know, up in Maine. And we just didn't pull that place out of our heinies. You know, we work for the summer because we're work campers, and you can check out my video for work camping and what that's like. And so I think I get more rest on the road, traveling, working camp life, than I did being back here. It's like all the stress and the anxiety that I experienced before I left, I kid you not, as soon as I hit Nashville, it all came back. And so it's been a very stressful time. So I'm really excited to be hopefully being able to pull out. So if you'd like to help us, or you are able to help us, you can always get in contact with us and click the link below and let's chit chat. Or you can become one of our Patreons. So we would appreciate that as well. But once I figure it out, and I'm working on that right now, the direction we're going to take, what we're going to do, I will come back and do a follow-up video and kind of give you an idea of what you will be expecting when we get ready to leave. And I'll be doing more videos on our preparation to go, because we got to do house maintenance, we got to do truck maintenance before we can just leave. You can't just hitch up the house and go. You have to do all those things and make sure it's taken care of, make sure we're taken care of, make sure we have what we need. You know, it's just a process. And now that Christmas is over and we're going into the new year, time is going to be going by really fast, so we don't have much time to get a lot of stuff done. So I appreciate all your views, all your likes, all your comments. Keep them coming. I hope you take this journey with us. Like I said before, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can see what we're talking about next, what we're doing next. I want to have you with me, and I appreciate you, and I love you guys. So if you have any questions, just let me know. I appreciate you so much, and I will see you in our next video. Bye for now.